Realm of Vasten, there are several mystical powers at work across the lands, but most notable among them are the powers of the druids and the elves. It is entirely possible that there are still more powers, long forgotten and scattered to the corners of the world, and the power of the elves has grown faint over time now that they have departed from this world. However, the strength of the druids remains an unassailable force, with many different facets. The most widely known are that of the Arbor Druids and the Frost Druids, residing in Azuri and Selea, respectively. There are also Fire Druids, though not much is heard of them. In designing the towers of the library, it was decided to dedicate the lesser of the smaller towers to the druids and their three primary sources of power. The fourth tower, where the main entryway was located, would be large and ornate in an elvish style. This would be very suitable in the end, for many of the artifacts discovered in the Hall of Kinship were of elvish origin. Many items were dwarvish as well, and also items that surely must have been crafted by the treants, which were most important in the minds of the druids. While grossly underrepresented, there were also things that spoke towards the existence of the fabled halflings, with faded maps and charts suggesting that this race may have disappeared to the south thousands of years before. It was a curious collection indeed. However, most of the historians present at the construction of the library passed over these artifacts with little regard. They said to themselves, what help could halflings possibly provide in the fight against the Nether? Perhaps there was truth in their words. However, the forgotten man, the druid with no name, was not as quick to disregard information regarding the halflings. He collected every scrap that he could find that mentioned them and began his own catalog, for he firmly believed, in a way he couldn't describe, that it was the lives of the quiet folk that concealed what was perhaps the most important information of all. It was almost as if he had done this before, a long time ago. Hello there, and welcome back to my next episode on the Realm of Vasten server. I am Mar, and we are here in, well, honestly, this kind of makes me feel like 7 out of Stranger Things, but I'm actually standing in a room full of black carpet, because in our server, black carpet has been retextured to be very, very, very black. Now it's not completely finished. In fact, if we take a peek up, you can see I've still got to finish that side of the wall, as well as the ceiling itself. I'm not going to turn around and show what's up. And there I did. Nope. Spoiler. Don't look. For those of you who remember from last season, this is a project that I had started working on for Gray, and I never finished it. I've actually had a whole bunch of black wool in my ender chest for quite a while inside of one of my shulker boxes. I decided to finally come over and put it down, see how far it went. I had almost an entire shulker full of it. And I was about halfway through that wall. So I finished that wall, did that wall, and honestly, I mean, that's probably a little over halfway of that wall. So I need to finish up that wall and then do the ceiling. So probably, and the ceiling's pretty big, probably another shulker full of black wool. Thankfully, we have a ginormous sheep farm for black sheep. And there's so many sheep there and it's so big that by the time you make a full circuit, the first ones you sheared are already ready to be sheared again. It's insane. You just have to, you know, I don't know, watch a movie or something while you do it so you don't go out of your mind with boredom. So that'll be something that I continue to work on, mostly off camera. Once I finish with the wool in here, I have to actually build the structure in here, and that is, you know, big spoilers. I don't want Gray to see it in case he watches one of my episodes or all of my episodes. So this is just going to be a teeny little status update, and you won't really see a whole lot of this until it's completely done. And then I'm going to try and meet up with Gray for a quick, or maybe not so quick, collaborative episode, and he's going to come over and take a look at this. So yep, that's the little status update with this. Now let's head back over to Port Bray. Alright, and welcome back to the library at Port Bray. As you can see, I have been kind of busy. Jamin suggested searching out the colors of Port Bray and using that color or those colors for the glass. I honestly am not 100% sure if Port Bray even has colors, but I or have colors, has colors, has. I'm pretty sure it's has, but it sounds really weird. I'm pretty sure that the city does have colors, like you know, like you know, all the states and all the countries and all that stuff. These colors that are just associated with them in a particular pattern or not, you know, whatever. And the closest I could come, I saw a couple, and when I say a couple, I mean literally 2. I saw 2 banners flying from the top of some of the houses over in that direction. They were green and yellow. I also saw the church that is here in Port Bray on the other side of the castle. That has purple glass, which actually looks pretty decent. I was considering going with just matching, you know, going with purple, matching the church. Then I also noticed that the carpet leading into the keep, the castle keep here, is also green and yellow, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that green and yellow might be the Port Bray colors. I don't know. Now, the thing is, the thing that makes this particularly difficult is a lot of our glass is textured. It's not just a clear block like in vanilla. And so there's only like, I think, 3 or 4 glass types that don't have a texture. Green and yellow both do have a texture, unfortunately, or maybe not so unfortunate. However, yellow, I mean, it works. You know, it's a totally fine glass design. I just don't think it really suits the library. I don't know, it just has too much of a clean look, in my opinion. The green, however, has this very almost organic, earthy sort of shape to it. As you can see, it's circular and, you know, all that fun stuff on the panes as well as the full blocks, and I think that looks pretty neat. I do kind of like this green glass, so I think I'm going to primarily go with green. We may be able to sprinkle in other colors the glass at a few spots. Maybe we'll use a little bit of yellow here and there. I'm not really sure. For now, I'm just going to go with all green, at least at this level. Maybe at the higher levels we can, you know, do purple or something like that. But I do think I'm pretty happy with this color, and also, as you can see, it does go all the way around. We've got it all put into place. I've left temporary gaps here because I still haven't figured out the support structure type design or strut or whatever you would call it. I have added the the other 2, I guess, the other 2 smaller doorways matching this one. You can see it's been pretty recent because they haven't been snowed on, and well, those ones have. So that's pretty good. I did decide to go ahead, I believe I mentioned in my last episode, we previously just had a trapdoor beneath these 2 stairs here in the middle, and then you can see the stone on either side. I did go ahead and get rid of that trapdoor, put in a plank, put 2 trapdoors on either side to kind of give it a little bit more shape there, and I think I do actually want to dangle some sort of lantern combination down there. But we'll get to that in a minute. I have also just spent like half hour, 45 minutes, something like that, cleaning up my inventory, cleaning up some of the shulkers here. Some of them are empty. So we've got stone in these gray ones, all 4 of them. Oops, there we go. This is my quartz and sea lanterns. This is kind of a mishmash, you know, the glass that I've been working on. Now this glass here, I had gone to use the super spelter here in Port Bray not too long ago. There was a whole bunch of glass in there. Someone had stuck it in there, I guess AFK, logged out, forgot to pick it up, whatever. So I moved it all into their shulkers that they had left behind. I went to check and see if it was still there. I was thinking, you know what, it's been like a month and a half. If they haven't come back to claim it, I guess they don't need it anymore. Unfortunately, they were all gone. Those smart people, they remembered, they came and took it, so I wasn't able to get any glass there. However, I did go back to Celea. The storage in Celea has actually not been brought to Port Bray yet because there are still some projects that are ongoing over there. But there was a whole bunch of green glass. In fact, I think I may have been the one to make way too much of it ages ago. So I grabbed all of the green glass, pretty much all of the green glass, brought it over. It was enough to do this, but it left me pretty bare. I think I had like 12 stacks, like this kind of stack at first, and now I'm down to 2 and some panes. So yeah, that's a lot of glass. I do have a shulker in my ender chest that does have glass in it, like 12 stacks I think of this as well. It's just clear glass, but I do have dyes as well. So I can make more. That's not going to be a problem. And, you know, if push comes to shove, I'll just go find a desert and strip it of some sand. So we've got that going on. Over here, inside of our ender chest, my shulkers were just a mishmash of all sorts of things. These 3 are empty, which is nice. I've just got assorted things in here. There's, you know, like, these are my stone. This contains various types of stone, various types of wood. These 2 are kind of like organic or decorative, so, you know, picture frames and stuff like that. Glass, and I think there's more stone in here. No, this is where the more stone is. So these 2 kind of have a generic mix. And then this is all the books and bookshelves and lecterns that I've had for a little bit here. And now I come to these 2 here. And I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I may have nicked these from the halfling civilization. We have so many shulkers of wood. I'm sure they won't be missed. If anybody's mad, I'm sorry. I guess I'll return them if I have to, but I really did kind of want to use some wood in this design, and I was actually kind of hoping to have some oak as well, but I couldn't find any, at least not in a great quantity. So I just grabbed some spruce and some dark oak, and the 2 shulkers there should keep us well in stock for probably the rest of this project. I can't imagine that I'll actually use it all, but I just grabbed a full shulker of both just in case. So that's where we stand on resources for the time being. I may want to go and try to get, like, some ugly blocks, like not ugly, it's not, I know some people like them. Jungle, acacia, and birch aren't necessarily my favorite. I tend to use them when I want to make sticks and whatnot. So I may need to get some of those just to get some generic things, some chests maybe, you know, that sort of a thing. But in general, I think we're pretty good here for a little bit. Now, like I was saying, or I think I was saying, I started to say it anyway, I do want to put the hanging chandeliers / lanterns. I believe I have all of those things in. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Give me that back. I need more rockets, apparently. More rockets, please. I'm gonna have to restock here pretty soon. So let's do that. So we've got our lanterns and our end rod lanterns. I'll probably just use the normal ones. And where's my woods? Here we go. I'm gonna actually try to stick to my organization method. Do we want to use just stick with dark oak? Let me work at this just a little bit. I definitely want a bigger design. I'm thinking just one, like a skinny one hanging down and then a lantern on the bottom of it. Over here, I'd like to give a small chandelier a try and see if I could pull that off. So let me work at this a little bit and I'll be right back. Alright, I think I've come up with a design that I am actually kind of happy with. This is the grander entrance, the chandelier design. I did a stone wall, then a dark oak fence, 2 bits of iron bars, then another fence, and then like a cross-shaped fence design with lanterns on top of each of the extending portions. I think I like the length. I think it hangs a good deal down. It's not designed to light up the floor down here. It's supposed to help give the door itself more of an accent, more of a distinguishing characteristic mark, whatever you want to call it. And I think I like it just like that. The only thing I might do is maybe extend it one more, make that 3 iron bars instead of 2. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you think that's a pretty good length for the doorway, or should I make it longer? And now for the smaller doorway. And here's where we're going to get into some design choices, which will also impact this. So keep this design in mind while we're looking at these smaller ones. Now this is option A, I guess. It's pretty much exactly like that. It's just it's not a chandelier. So we've got the stone wall, the dark oak fence, the 1 iron bar, and then just a little lantern dangling off the bottom of it. Option B, also with the with the stone wall. The only change here is that I'd used a spruce fence instead. I don't know whether I want to contrast it or not. So let me know. Do you like the spruce fence, or do you like the dark oak fence? Which one? And now for the third option, option C, where we get rid of, and this can work with spruce or dark oak, we get rid of the stone wall and just go with another piece of fence. So that's the option. Do we keep stone wall, or do we get rid of it and replace it with a fence? Do we use dark oak fences, or do we use spruce fences? And then of course over here, is this a good length or not? I think this is a good length. If it comes any lower, you won't be able to get through the doorway without, you know, bumping your head into it when jumping. So I definitely don't want to go any lower than this for the smaller doorways. And there's also not really enough space to do a chandelier, because if I switched this out, so let's see, I would have to, in order for it to look even remotely like that one, I'd have to do fence, iron bar, fence, and then do the fence crisscross at this level, but then you wouldn't be able to fit it because you wouldn't be able to fit the lanterns themselves because of these trapdoors. So a design like that really is not really, it's really not feasible with this size of a door frame. But that's okay. I think this design will work just fine. Let me know which of the three you like, which combination of wall versus fence, spruce versus dark oak, and the height. Oh, I like how that lights up. Isn't that awesome? I love that. It just gives the door frame such illumination over here as well. Oh, I'm already liking the door all the more because of that. We will definitely be using that sort of a design in here. And if you watched my Wells season or series from last season, with the base out in the swamp, you'll know that I used a lot of fire in the designs. So if you want to go check out some of my work over there and see what those designs were, you could probably just watch one of the later episodes like towards the very end. I did a tour at the very end, and you should be able to see pretty much all the fire designs I had there. Like, well, we can't do the hoppers on fire anymore because Mojang decided to change the way hoppers work. But the rest of the designs should still be feasible. And if you want me to use fire in this design instead of just lanterns, I could definitely do that as well. Otherwise, I'll just be sticking pretty much with this the chandelier design or variants of it. I don't know, maybe I'll do fire anyway. But you guys can go and check it out if you're interested and see what kind of designs I came up with last season over there. Now, we've got the 4 doors, we've got the lighting in the doorways. I mean, the doors themselves, on the inside at least, they still look kind of janky, you know? It's very unsmooth right here. I'm definitely going to need to clean up the door frame on the inside. That'll be probably a later thing. Right now, I think I want to figure out these corner bits with the support structure. I've been considering different block types to use. Do I want to use, like, quartz, keep it very bright and light, and something like that, or do I want to give the build a darker tone? Do I want to pull out the nether bricks again, because that's essentially a black or a very, very, very dark gray in our texture pack? Would it look good to give it a nice dark contrast in the support structures? I am kind of leaning towards the nether brick, so I'm especially because I feel like if I used quartz again, it'd blend too well on the inside over here. And if this is the only place where I use these support structures, I think it might look pretty decent. So now it just means I have to come up with an actual design that achieves the effect I want and looks halfway decent. So let me work at this a little bit, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody, I am back. I just finished sleeping away the night. I would have kind of preferred not to, because I want to see the effect of the lighting and whatnot. Unfortunately, it was snowing. Well, snowing here, but you could hear the thunder and lightning, so it clearly was quite a storm somewhere else. But this is what I have so far for the outside support structure. I think I may have built these maybe too low. Let me know what you think, if it should be, if I should make this higher off the ground or not. I'll also, let me know what you think about the upside down version of the chandelier, where the lanterns are dangling from the bottom instead of sitting on the top. Both, you know, for here as well as in the great doorway over there. The original design brought it out to like here or something like that, and it just ended up looking way too bulky. I didn't like how it was going, so I decided to swap it out for this. It's essentially 2 columns of stone bricks, or of the nether stone bricks, and then the 3 columns of walls right there to sort of try and give it a slightly rounded, or just give it a little more depth, I guess, a sort of look. And then I have that one actually. I should probably maybe change that one. Maybe? No, actually I like that one. Maybe I will leave it like that. I was thinking maybe turning it back into a wall, but I think I kind of like it being a full block there. So it goes up. It goes all the way up to the top. It'll continue going up with the normal walls as well, I would imagine. I think originally I was only going to have it go part way and then dead end, and then that'd be it, and then you'd have like glass above that, but I think I actually like this better. This way it's sort of like a band that will wrap around or wrap up around the side of the wall here. Kind of almost as if it's holding it in. And then we have these strange little, I mean, I threw these together pretty much. It was completely on the fly, so there's no real pattern here, like any planned pattern anyway. But I thought it might be cool to put some lighting off of the bands here, so this is what I came up with. Let me know what you think, if you think I should make any modifications to it, if you hate it, if you love it, whatever. If we end up liking it, I'll add it to the other 4 sides, and then we'll just see where it takes us. I think we're pretty much out of time for this episode, though, so I think we'll go ahead and call it here. Don't forget, give me your feedback on pretty much every lantern design we have come up with so far, as well as what you think of the band out there. And this is, I just filled it in completely, this column here. I just put the stone bricks here, so you can't even see the nether brick out there. No, the nether brick itself, I went and smelted down some nether rack. It turned out to be quite a trip because Super Smelter was kind of low on fuel in some places, so I went out and had to track down some kelp and put that together into some dried kelp blocks and all that fun stuff. It was quite the ordeal. It was quite bigger a trip than I thought. If we end up using a lot of nether brick, I only have a little bit left, you know, a stack and some change and, you know, slabs, stairs, and walls. I'll probably just go back into the nether and keep mining out a fortress somewhere. Seems to be a much more effective way to get it than smelting down netherrack. But yeah, so I think that's probably where we're gonna leave it. I know in the intro we talked about these towers here. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to building these. This will probably be what we work on in the next episode. I want to start getting a design laid out for all of these towers, especially this one because it's going to be the main one to match the bigger doors there. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that if you're interested. I think we will be going with a fire, frost, and like earthy arbor druidy type thing. I'll probably just do fire back there, and then arbor druids and frosts on either side, and then over here this will be just the large ornate. Actually, size-wise it'll probably be the same, but it'll be the more ornate one maybe, a little more elvish tones. Maybe we'll go back to using prismarine like we did in the inside the Hall of Kinship. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you keep on coming back for more, of course. And until next time, I hope you have a fantastic time, and I will see you later. Bye!